You're listening to the G-Spot podcast with Bri
and Alex,
where we dive into personal growth, lifestyle, relationships, and everything in between.
Chill with us every Wednesday for good vibes and real talk.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the G-Spot. I am very sorry for being on a little hiatus this past month. However, I was on the search for a co-host, and luckily I did find someone to join me. And her name is Alexandra, who has actually been on this podcast before as a guest. So, Alex, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, G-Spot fans. It's me, Alex. As she's mentioned, I am the new co-host, and I'm super honored to be here. A little bit about me. I was on the podcast beforehand, so if you're new here, I believe it's like, how many episodes before this one? Like 5, maybe? Ish?
About. Mm-hmm.
Somewhere up there.
5-ish.
And we officially decided to make it official, so it's very official.
She put the ring on it. It's official. She put the ring on it. She accepted. She said yes. She said yes to the dress.
I did. I always say yes to the dress. All of them. I'm married. I have a daughter who is 2. So life is awesome. Marketing professional, which is how I met Brianne. And that's pretty much it. You know, I'm a girl's girl. Love to be with girls. I love girl time. I'm all about it. Girl time. Yes. Yeah, that's about it. That's me. So let's get into it.
Party hardy. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
So we have a new segment called What's the Cue?
What's the cue?
Now we will be discussing these questions that are coming in from a group on Reddit. Just to kind of start off on a positive note, on an interesting note, just to get the brain juices flowing. So today, the first question we have is there a chance I can still be comfortable and successful? I'm 22 and regret not going to college. I want to go back, but I feel old.
So this one hits a little home for me. I didn't go back to college. I had taken a few years off after high school. I didn't go to college till I was 20. Actually, I think I was 23 too. I was 23 when I went back to college.
Oh, there you go. It's very possible, people.
Very possible. I think some people feel like if they take too much of a break, then there's no way they can go back. But if you want to go back, for sure, do it. My uncle, who's, he just finished college. He went when he was in his late 40s, got his master's, and he's doing big things. It can happen at any age.
This is such a misconception, especially I feel like in America, we have these like age limits. We set these age points for ourselves, like, oh, if I'm not doing this by 19, I guess I can't do it. Yeah. Oh, if I didn't start this business, if I didn't go to college and I'm 22, 23, I can't do it anymore. It's past my time, past my prime.
I know.
That's not a thing.
You're 22 and you feel old? That's crazy.
Yeah, and also, dude, you're 22, you're freaking young.
You're so young, so much life ahead of you.
Yes. The world makes us feel old, though, at that age, unfortunately, or at least this country, because it's like, oh, well, we see people accomplishing this much at like 18 years old. I have no chance. I'm like, okay, well, first of all, just don't compare yourself to those people who have totally different stories and lives than you do. So if you have a goal and you're like, I want to do this thing and it's going to require me to go back to college and get an education, you have to do it. The last thing you want to do is lie in your deathbed and regret that you didn't go to college when you were 22, which when you're 90, you're going to realize how freaking young 22 actually is.
Honestly. And I just feel like it kind of goes back to our previous conversation, Bri, where it's just like you're constantly in comparison to these people that you see on social media, like kids totally who are making lives. Like thousands, millions of dollars off of YouTube, and like you see that and you're like, gosh, how can I make money? And now I'm too old. Like, no, that's not it at all.
I know. We're making the like 22 the new freaking like 42. Like that is just not the case, guys.
Crazy. It's
just not the case. And it's media that has really effed us up. And so,
you know what's so weird is like such a weird concept and I'm not trying to discourage people who do go to college right after high school, like by all means go for it, but I totally understand if you want to take a step back and really think about what you want to go to school for. Because chances are, yeah, you're going to go to college, you're going to rack up those loan debts. You might as well be
doing
towards something you actually like. And there's no way, they're not every 18-year-old, and I'm sure it's like hardly any 18-year-olds know exactly what they want to do out of high school. There's no way.
Freaking preach.
Honestly,
preach it to the
your
fucking
mind is
choir.
still growing. You're still learning. There's so many people out there in the world you haven't met. So many careers you don't even know are out there, and all the different possibilities.
Real.
Honestly.
Yeah, no, you have like such a great point. There are so many career paths that we don't even know about. Like, there's just, you can discover so many things by just kind of leading yourself to certain points and listening to yourself on what you actually enjoy doing, which takes some time. Like, you're not going to know immediately. Like Alex said, at 18 years old, and we're signing up for college classes, we're like, what am I even going to do? What am I doing here? And I think that's how we end up with, you know, people having their midlife crisis, and they're like, what did I do? And they're kind of rethinking their whole life. Like, wait, this wasn't my path. Like, this wasn't supposed to be my path. I did this because of pressure. I did this because of this and this and this. And none of those reasons is because they actually wanted to do it.
Right. So I think 22 is a great age to start college. If you know what you want to do.
Exactly.
And
like,
it doesn't have to be
time
like,
to think about it.
Right. And it doesn't have to be like a typical college, you know, it doesn't have to be at a, you know, 4-year college institute. It can be at like a technical school. Like if you're going for something specific and they have schooling for that, I mean, you don't have to do the whole shebang if it's not necessary.
Exactly. Like, if you have a goal, you have that career in mind already, because you're clearly motivated to go to college already. You're just kind of, you know, maybe, again, you're just iffy on the age, which is, it's not a real thing. Don't worry about it. We don't have age limits for things, luckily, in this life. Just do what you want at whatever age you want, period. And you're not old. And since you already have the urge to go back, that means that you're kind of aimed towards a certain career path already, which is good. That's not something a lot of people have at that age. So, like Alex said, you know, you can go the budget route. You don't have to like rack up a bunch of debt. You don't have to do the whole traditional thing or try to go to this fancy college. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You really don't. I'm a huge believer in, like, I don't care how fancy your college is. If you're going to college, you're getting an education. And the most important thing with like getting a job is your confidence skills in an interview, not your college background.
Right. So true.
So, you know, that's kind of my advice to you, dude. And you go do it.
I hope he decides to go.
I know.
I hope he doesn't like fully think that's too late. No way.
I know. I need to freaking link up this episode for him and be like, hey, dude, please listen
Sending
to us,
this
please.
Specifically to you.
Yes.
All is good,
so
man.
You do it. And anyone listening, if you're in this predicament and you're even, you know, if you're older than 22, please, God, just do it. Just do it. Like, you're the only one stopping you is yourself. Don't listen to the culture, because the culture is going to change all the time. Like I said, we're making 22 the new 42, which makes 0 sense.
Honestly.
And people are trying to act older than they are also. Like, when they're like 15, they're like acting like 25. And I'm like, okay, you know what? We're like really skewed at this point. So we need to take a step back and just do what you need to do.
Yeah, take it easy.
Yeah, take it easy, bro. So the last question for What's the Cue is, why do adults stop having sleepovers and slumber parties? Why?
I love this question.
Why? Dude, this is, look, I would love to have a sleepover and summer party. Okay, Alex, I don't know when the last time you had a summer party was. When do you think?
Oh my gosh. I feel like the last time I had a sleepover, I was probably in my 20s. Only because my two best friends at the time, they had their own place and they had an extra bedroom. So this was in my 20s. We'd go out drinking. I didn't want to drive home, so I would spend the night. Or I would like specifically go over just to spend the night. We'd have a movie night and a wine night, or, you know, something like that. We'll go have dinner, have drinks at the house, and then I get to spend the night. So nice. It was really fun.
Yeah, we're putting age limits on these things.
I don't understand.
Look, I don't care if you're 90 years old, dude. You go have a freaking slumber party with the girls. Okay, I don't understand the problem. I'm still down for having sleepovers and slumber parties. Okay, I'm 25. I'm still down for having sleepovers and slumber parties. I don't care, alcohol or no alcohol. I mean, I'm not a drinker really. If it's just movies and snacks, are you kidding me? That's like a recipe for greatness. I'm so down for that.
I will say though, personally, if I don't have a bed to sleep in, I'm not spending the night.
Now rough it out, Alex. Rough it out.
Or a couch. A couch is okay. I'll sleep on a couch. That's no problem.
Now rough it
but
out.
on the floor,
if we have to sleep over, you're sleeping on the roof, lady. I'm making you rough it out. I'm gonna make you. You know what?
Come spend the night, but I made you a tent outside. So
it's a test. A tent. Yeah. So why do we stop doing these things? Honestly, it's kind of like the other question. We put age limits on shit. Come on, like it's not embarrassing.
That's totally fine.
You're thinking it's like immature and like, oh, I'm too old for this. I can't have fun like I used to in the old days. Shut up.
I wonder if it's more like a female versus male thing, you think? Because I think girls with no problem, hands down, would love to have a sleepover with their girlfriends, even at like 30. I feel like it's not a problem. But maybe men, like I feel like men might be like, I'm trying to picture my husband being like, hey,
going for a sleepover.
You go to my friend Manny's gonna have a sleepover tonight. I'd be like, what?
Maybe you have a really good point, actually.
Maybe I would judge him a little. I'd be like,
you're right.
I think you're coming home tonight.
I think maybe, look, maybe we shouldn't be calling it. I mean, I don't care if we call it a sleepover or slumber party, whatever. Maybe they just call it a dude's night. Like, oh, we're having
dude's guys night.
We're having a dude's night, babe. You're not invited.
That's hilarious.
We're having dudes night and we're gonna watch movies and we're gonna eat popcorn.
I bet they would actually love that. Oh, that would be nice if society would just let them have a goddamn sleepover.
Let them have a good fucking time, goddammit. Just let them live. Like, honestly, it's nothing to be embarrassed about, guys. Like, if you're an adult and you want to have a dude's night or a girl's night sleepover, whatever, just go. Okay, if you die if you die tomorrow, or if you're on your deathbed, really, like, you're gonna be like, God damn,
I really wanted one last sleepover.
I wanted a dude's night.
This deathbed is really telling.
It is. It really is.
Damn, all things come back to this deathbed.
Popcorn with the boys. Boys' night. You know what? That's what I think it is. If you're an 80-year-old man, it's still going to be boys' night. Like, I don't care.
For sure.
You're just call it boys' night. Oh, it's boys' night. That's it. Boys' night.
That's hilarious.
So, honestly, guys, yes. Just do it.
Go ahead and
do the thing.
Do the thing. If you have a wife or a girlfriend, just be like, it's not weird. I just need some fucking space. I need to hang with my dudes.
My dudes.
That's not a big deal.
Dudes.
It's not a big deal. Check my location. I'll be there.
Yeah, don't make it awkward.
Yeah, don't make it weird.
Don't make it awkward. It's not weird if guys want to hang out with their dude friends.
Yeah.
Like, that's completely normal. So just let them. Let them do it. Now... So today's topic is embracing hate and criticism. Like, let's say, for example, this person was getting hate for wanting to go to college at 22. Sir?
Move on. You can ignore that.
People's opinions do not matter. It is your life. So this is kind of the theme of today's episode in general. Embracing hate and criticism, also distinguishing hate and criticism. If it's constructive criticism, very different from just being outright hated on.
Yeah.
So the first point we would like to talk about is that we all have to realize as a society that not everyone's gonna like us. Not everyone's gonna like you.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. Because people are going to hate spread hate regardless, and it's nothing to do with you. It's not your
them,
problem. I mean, unless you're a real asshole. Unless you're a real asshole. Then maybe take a little look inside yourself.
But don't be an general, asshole is the bottom line.
Yeah, but in general, if you're experiencing hate, the first thing is to realize that not everyone is going to like you, and you don't have to force people to like you.
Yeah, you should not want to be for everyone. Like, raise your standards, higher quality people will be around you, and that's the kind of people you want in your life anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're naturally weeding themselves out of your life.
Yes,
think about it, it's kind of it's a blessing, because it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm doing this thing. Let's say putting myself in this 22-year-old's space for the sake of this story. I'm 22 and I'm going to college, but I'm getting hate from my quote unquote friends that I'm going to college at this age. And it's like, why? Like, not worth it? Or it's like, like, don't do that. Oh, why are you going to do that? Like, if people are giving you those reactions when you're trying to do something big for yourself, something better for yourself, it's mostly because they're unhappy with where they are in life, period.
It's likely the fact, like, I feel like when I get hate or, like, extra harsh criticism that is not, like, it is not, like, constructive,
I feel like it doesn't help you.
Yeah. I feel like it comes from a place of, like, almost like, who does she think she is for doing this? But in reality, it's like, it's almost as if, like, they can't see themselves doing it. Therefore, it's like, who are you to do it? Like, I wish I could. So who do you think you are? You know what I mean? It's almost a reflection of their lack of capabilities.
Yeah, their insecurities. Yes, the only reason why someone hates on someone is because of their insecurities. Literally, that is the source. So once you realize it's not you, you can move on towards life in in an easier way, because you realize, one, you don't have to impress people. You're not here to impress people. You're here to, like, accomplish your goals and do what you want to do in life. And if someone doesn't like it, they're not your friend. If they're not being supportive, they are not your friend. If they're hating on you and they're bullying you, obviously not your friend. You have to drop them out of your life. And that includes family members. You know, honestly, unfortunately, we cannot choose our family. But families are so prone to hating on others' decisions.
Why? That's the worst. I feel like family criticism is low-key the worst. And when I say low-key, I mean high-key.
High-key. It really is, because these are the people that you're supposed to trust.
Yeah.
These are the people that are like, oh, well, especially if it's your parents. It's like, you brought me into this world and you're bullying me for my decisions. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I have I had no choice but to be born, right? And now you're making it, like, miserable for me. This isn't a good
what
relationship.
I'm choosing to do, or what I'm choosing, you know, whatever it is that you're deciding to do that's causing the hate, or if it's just you being who you are, like, that's the worst. Like, all you want is for, like, especially your family to, like, have their approval, and then for them to just turn away and just give you, like, constant criticism and just, like, hate. Gosh, it's so hard.
Exactly. And part of it, again, is what you mentioned. They're probably projecting their own insecurity. Like, maybe they wish they would have done what you're doing, and they're projecting it as hate. And they're just kind of, or, you know, they pictured something else for you. Oh, you were supposed to be a lawyer. Part. You were supposed to be a freaking doctor. What happened? Aren't you doing this? Or you're not making X amount of money. Excuse me? Also, take a look at their situation. If they're not, I mean, if they're in the position to hate on you, then they're not really, you know, they're too caught up in other people hating on them. Like, they're projecting their insecurities, and they're kind of thinking, oh, well, everyone's going to judge my child. Everyone's going to judge them on their career and how I raise them and blah, blah, blah. It's like, this has nothing to do with you. I'm an adult now. So, in regards to them projecting their insecurities, I also had this experience when I was younger, like in earlier high school / junior high years. I had quote unquote friends who would, so I was in band, right? And so in band or outside of band, when we would hang out, sometimes we'd go and, like, we'd play around with instruments in different stores or something, right? Because we were kids. We were like, oh, this is what we're going to do for fun. Oh. And we went around, and whenever I would start playing the piano or start playing something, they'd kind of call me like, oh, you're a show-off. Oh, really? Why are you doing that? I'm like, dude, we're just having fun. What do you mean? So haters. That sort of thing where it's like, they're judging you just for your abilities or like your skills, something that you like to do. It's like, dude, really? And I feel like that's actually hindered me a little bit. That kind of, I'm not going to say traumatized me, but it would happen pretty often. Let's say I would be in in the band hall and I'd be practicing, right? And I was practicing for competitions. Like I was there, you know, in the evening hours at the band hall practicing for competitions. Some people would kind of they would walk in, and maybe they didn't mean it in a bad way. Like these people, it's not like I had any bad blood with these people. Like I'm sure I'd still talk with them today,
Band
right?
gang.
It's not, yeah, it's nothing crazy. But I'm just saying those slight comments of the like little bit of hate or a little bit of criticism on like
or
what you're
rolls.
doing and how you're doing it. Yes, exactly. They'd walk in and be like, oh, like you're stop being a show off, Bri, or something like that. I'm like, those little comments clearly
they hold you back, man. They hold you back. I bet you
they do
from going to like your full potential just because you're afraid of people thinking that you're showing off.
Exactly. Oh my god. And you freaking hit the nail on the head. That has hindered me, and I'm getting over that now. I'm getting over that now, because then when people would make those comments about me or like the things I would do, I was like afraid, because obviously you want to be friends with these people, you want to be like liked, but which is why I'm saying you're not going to be liked by everyone.
Yeah.
Period. So there's no point in trying to please everybody. Yeah, it's not going to happen. But when people are just putting their little comments in your ear of just something that you're practicing at, or you're doing, or you're working on bettering, that's just a huge projection on who they are. And it's like, you don't have to say that stuff. You don't have to say it like that. You should be like, oh yeah, good job, cool, nice.
I know.
Like, say something
kids are
positive.
Just so rough. They also just like lack experience and like social skills. So high school and in junior high, that shit is just rough. But as you get older, like some people just don't grow up less. And they don't. Yeah, they're just rude as fuck.
For sure. And it's, you know, it sounds like kind of dumb, but at the same time, like if those comments are made about you, like I said, when you're trying to work on something, that carried on with me a little bit after high school, if I'm being honest. Like I felt like I couldn't be my full self, because then they're gonna think either I'm showing off or like I'm doing this and they can't do that or something. And I was already thinking of what they were gonna say to me. I was already thinking of how they felt about what I was doing, or blah 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 blah, right? And it's so dumb, because it was just based off of those little comments. But that just goes to show that you know, when we're young, our minds are molded differently. We're affected by things differently. But in our adult years, we care less and less about people projecting their hate, because now we can realize, like we're talking about, that it's really them not comfortable where they are, and they're uncomfortable where you are.
Right, yeah.
Where what you're doing is making them very uncomfortable, and they have no other reaction but to comment on that in a negative way.
Exactly. And I just feel like, especially with friends, have you ever like told a friend like good news or like something you were excited about and it just like fell flat on them? Like that you could just tell like they were not as enthused as you were, that you just didn't get.
Of course.
Oh my gosh, I hate that. Like to me, that's a sign of a frenemy, and I will quickly drop you, or I'll just like slowly stop spending as much time with you, and then eventually you'll fall off, and it'll be fine. We'll both move on. It's not a big deal.
And it definitely comes from a place, and even coming from the other side, coming from maybe a place where maybe I've been in a period where I'm not so confident in myself. Someone else's success, I would never wish someone bad ever. But I can see, like from their perspective, we all have our moments. If I'm not in the best place mentally, or like my self-confidence is feeling lower, and someone else maybe would come up to me with this, you know, fantastic news about what they achieved, and I was already feeling bad about myself, you know, I can see how that happens. I can see how their reaction might not be the most excited, because you have to be happy where you are to be happy for other people, period.
Totally.
And
but then show up in other ways. Like if it's at that moment, then still show up for your friend in some other way, I feel like. But if it's a habit, just keep an eye out for that. I feel like just watch their reaction.
If it's constant.
If it's constant, then They ain't your friend.
For sure. And the difference is, though, if there's someone who is your friend and they are maybe going through a hard time themselves and they feel like maybe they're not at the right place to be super excited about someone else's success, okay, fine. You know, they need to work on themselves, and you just give them the space to do that. And the difference is, though, with an actual friend, with someone who actually cares about you, they're not going to say something bad.
Yeah.
So they can stay silent, or they can be, you know, kind of excited for you, right? Maybe you tell it's not super genuine, but they're trying.
Mm-hmm.
That's also important. Like, but you have to pay attention to if secretly they're kind of maybe wishing bad, envious, because if they react in a way where it's like, oh, why'd you do that instead of this, and they meet it with attitude or sass or questioning
or
you,
automatically go negative,
okay,
like, oh, that's not gonna work
negative.
out, or what were you thinking? Oh, yeah, that's a sign. Red flag.
Yeah, super red flag. Oh no. I don't like, oh, you think you can actually like do that then? Like, you know, they start questioning you and your abilities or like whatever. That is the difference to me, at least, from someone who is literally a friend of me. Drop them.
Or this could even be like a significant other, like someone who's just like kind of
or a family member.
unsupportive.
Again,
yep, can be family member too, for sure. And some people just like, they choose to see you. I mean, as humans, we're constantly evolving. You know, I'm for sure not the same person I was 10 years ago. I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. I'm not the same person I was 2 years ago. We're just constantly evolving as human beings, and we're growing and maturing in all sorts of ways. And sometimes people can't accept the new version of you. Sometimes people don't grow with you, and they want to accept that you're still doing bad. You're still not, you know, you're not where you should be. You know, they still want to see you in a certain light. And when you kind of surpass, you know, who you were, they no longer can accept that, because
they're so used to the old version.
They're so used to the old version. They don't want to see you succeed, because they themselves are not succeeding. You know, they see someone who came from the same place succeeding, and it's just a reflection of their lack, if that makes sense.
Yep, exactly. And so when we talk about embracing hate, basically what I mean is, dude, you will get hate regardless. Of course, do not make these people your friends. I'm just saying, let's say you're making content, or you're just doing anything big. You are going to get people that hate you. You can write a book. People are going to hate on that book. You can write a song. They're going to hate the song. You know, there's going to always be a group of people going out looking for things to hate. So what you should do, especially if you're just a regular person or if you're a creator, you embrace that shit. You're like, you know what? Give me the hate. Hate me. You're engaging with all my stuff.
You're engaging my stuff. Let's say obviously caught your attention, whether it was negative or positive.
Yeah. Now, so, I'm clearly somewhere in your brain. I'm somewhere living in your brain that you felt the need to come over and hate. That means,
and you've taken the time to say something or make some kind of reaction. I mean, that means that's all good.
Yeah, dude, just hate on me. Just do it. I embrace it. It. Let's say, you know, if I'm starting out on YouTube, right? So if someone leaves a hate comment, oh, please leave a hate comment. Like, I would love to see that, because you're engaging with my comment section. You're boosting my video. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, you say thank you, and also I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
To those things.
Nothing better to do.
To the haters. No, yeah. They have nothing better to do. That's what they're going to choose to do with their day. Cool. That's not what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to say, dude, thank you for the engagement. Thank you for the
time
comments.
And the effort. I appreciate all the love.
I appreciate it.
I'll see you on my next post.
Yes. And also, I hope you get help. Like, honestly, that's how you have to embrace hate. That's kind of what I mean by embracing hate.
Yeah.
In that context. And obviously in real life, let's say you're not a content creator. Like, how would you
just
say?
In general.
Yes. How would you say, in your words, like, how would you embrace hate? Like,
I would say the same thing. Like, even if you're not a content creator, you realize that someone is hating because they're either talking about you, they're staring at you ugly, or either way, they're making
bad body language.
They're making an effort on their part to let you know that you're being hated on. So they're just making an effort for you just brush
it off.
Like,
energy and time.
They're spending their energy to let you know that regardless, you've got their attention in negative way or positive way. It doesn't really matter. You just move on with your day and it's all good. It's fine. But when it comes to constructive criticism, I feel like that's also embraced that. Like for me personally, I am like a person when I was younger, up until actually pretty recently, to be honest, even if it was constructive criticism, I was not for it. Like, don't tell me I'm doing anything wrong. Like, don't talk to me.
I'm perfect.
Like, I'm perfect. It's like, how dare you even say? Like, it could be for the smallest thing. Like, Alex, you're not cutting those potatoes, right? Girl, you better not tell me nothing.
Shut your mouth.
Catch this dude. But now it's like, it's all like they're just being helpful. You know what I mean? So you're just learning from whatever it is that they're trying to be critical.
For
like
sure.
if that makes sense. Like they're just trying to teach you something, and it's okay to like learn a new way of doing things or accept. Yeah, exactly.
And let's say even if someone comes up to you with constructive criticism, which is extremely helpful in the content world, by the way, let me just say,
or in the work, like in the
work world, in school, in just everywhere,
anything. Parenting for me, it's all good.
Yeah. Like we were saying, like, there is a difference between constructive criticism and just regular criticism that doesn't help you at all. They're like, oh, you're doing that wrong. Okay.
Well, how can I make it better?
Do you have a suggestion? So constructive criticism, obviously, you will know that they're just trying to help you be better. You can tell their intentions are good. And in real life, like you said, that might just be someone wanting to teach you something that they used to know, how they used to do it, and just showing those people respect and accepting, we can all do things differently. There's always a different way to do something.
And it's up to you whether you want to take the advice or not. Like you can just hear it. You don't even have to agree on it. Yeah. But it's fine. It's not a big deal. It's not necessarily all negative.
For sure.
Yeah. Constructive criticism, I feel like, is really, really, I personally, especially in my career, constructive criticism has made me a better employee on all aspects, whether it's how I manage people, whether it's how I speak to clients, whether it's how I handle situations. It's all for my own benefit. And usually what criticism sounds like is it's just negative. What constructive criticism sounds like is it's
similar to hate.
It's what constructive criticism sounds like is this is what I see what you're doing wrong, and here's the fix. So there is a negative and also a positive, a solution. Exactly.
Solution as to how they would do it or how they would fix it. Instead of just saying you're wrong, do better. Okay, that's not giving a solution. That's just being critical for no reason. And you have to embrace that sort of constructive criticism and welcome it into your life, as long as, again, it's with good intentions, because these people are in your life, and there's always people that you're going to meet that are going to make you a better person. As long as, you go towards this and you're attracting, good people into your life.
Good vibes. Yeah.
They're going to want the best for you, and you have to know that we have to learn stuff every single day. Every single day we're learning stuff.
And you're not always going to be the sharpest one in the room. In fact, I heard
you're not always right.
Yeah. I heard a quote the other day that someone told me, and it was like, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Oh, yep.
So
you have to embrace that stuff.
Yeah. Learn from the people around you who want to teach you things. And it's not necessarily saying that everything that you do is wrong and you've been taught wrong. It's just there's a better way to do things, and you're just evolving. So accept it. And
exactly. Yeah. And, that is a huge part of embracing the constructive criticism is just knowing that you don't know anything.
Yeah. And don't take it personal.
You're constantly growing. Right. Oh, that's a huge thing. Dude, that's a huge thing. Don't take it personal. If you were in any sport or something, or some organization in high school or college, you know that there's always mentors or teachers there that are like constantly going to give you constructive criticism on how to do better, especially if you're going to be competing in stuff or applying for this huge internship or something like that, right? There's always has to be people in your life that are going to give you that constructive criticism, like a mentor would. It's really important, and we can't think we know it all.
Right. We don't know it all. We are not perfect. There's always something new. There's always something better. You know what I'm saying? There's
for sure
better way to do things.
When I was younger, I was, I definitely, probably in my teen years, I was like, oh yeah, I know it. I know that. I know it all.
Teens,
I know that.
I feel like all teens feel
all
that way.
teens, exactly.
But
so
really,
we got to kind of grow out of our teen years.
Yes. Honestly, they just
lack
perspective. Like they haven't lived enough to see like all sides of the spectrum, so they don't have perspective on things. So they think this has to be the top of the knowledge. I have everything I need to know in life.
and the thing is that some people don't grow out of that phase.
Mm-mm.
Some people are always like, oh, I know that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I know it all.
Yeah. You're actually never out of that phase. You are always learning.
Once you think you know it all, that's when you truly have like lost your way. because you don't. You can, you can do something for like 90, 100 years. You're still not going to know everything. Mm-hmm. about that. There's always going to be more, to learn. And that's kind of what makes life exciting. Like, in my world, I guess, I create content sometimes, and get people, or like my audience, my followers, whatever, when they give me constructive criticism, oh my God, I welcome it so much. I'm like, thank you. Like, thank you. I really need to know, because I want to know what works. I want to know what doesn't work, what resonates, what doesn't resonate. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I see so many other content creators who hate when people give them constructive criticism, and they're immediately met with defense, with a defense. That's the worst. Well, it's because of this. Well, it's because I didn't have this, and so I couldn't do it that way. And I'm like, okay, well, and they get defensive. And it's like, don't get defensive.
No big deal.
Yeah, these are the people that you are marketing yourself to, or like showing your personality to, and creating content for. Don't you want to hear about your own people?
Like what they feel, what they think, and how you could do things.
What they don't like. And it's the same in like a business world, right? In business, you need to get feedback from people. Period. Like, how are you going to grow as a business? How are you going to grow as a content creator? With this podcast, I would hope that people give us constructive criticism on how to improve.
Absolutely.
Different topics, or maybe you should have like leaned more on this topic, or I really like the way y'all did this. Maybe this part was a little long or something, right? It's always good. I welcome that. And this is what this whole point is embracing this sort of constructive criticism towards you, and not meeting it with defense.
Yeah.
Don't close out the people that are trying to help you.
Right, exactly. And it's up to you whether or not you want to accept what's being offered. What information is being offered to you. You don't have to accept it. But if you feel like it's helpful, and then by all means take it, and you don't have to meet it with disdain. You don't have to be upset at the fact that somebody has given you a critique on something. It's
exactly.
It's all for your benefit.
Keep an open mind. Don't keep a closed mind, and don't be so set in your own ways that you're never going to change. This is all you're going to do. No, I'm going to do it this way, and that's it. Just stop. You're acting like a toddler. Come on, let's open our mind a little bit. And I wanted to ask, was there any point where you gave someone constructive criticism and you were met with something like negative, or vice versa? Maybe you... Okay, what?
Totally. So on the other side of this, if you are the person giving constructive criticism, I'm just going to say not everybody is going to meet it well. Just like some people think that they are, the equivalent of, I don't even know, like they just think they're good, like they're perfect.
There's God.
Nothing, they're God. Nothing can be changed. They're absolutely the best person out there.
Lord.
And if you say otherwise, then we're done. I'm no longer listening to you. What you're saying is not acceptable. We cannot communicate any further. So you have to be careful. Know your audience, number one. But if you feel like you said, like, so for me personally, I said something to a friend. It was a constructive criticism. I thought it was constructive. I pointed out a flaw I saw, and I put a positive spin on it, and I said, here is the how did you call it? Here's the help me out, Bri. What's the word?
Here's the
so I said so I gave her a negative comment on something that I saw that needed fixing, I guess, or I gave her criticism, constructive criticism, and then I said, here's how you fix it. Here is how to handle it. This is how maybe you can change things for yourself for a better outcome. And it was like immediately defense, like immediately walls up. And this was someone I had been friends with for a very, very long time. Very, very long time. And this is somebody who's given me criticism, or what do you call it?
Ooh.
Constructive criticism.
I can give you constructive. Yes. You cannot give it to me back.
I was shocked. I was like, whoa. So, I mean, know your audience. And if it is met that way, then that's okay. I mean, that's for them. That's for them to decide how they want to handle it. And if they don't want to listen, they don't want to listen. And it's not, you can't force that stuff on them.
Please don't force it. Don't force it. Yeah, don't reinstate yourself once they've already become defensive. Like, they're not going to listen to you.
They're not going to listen. They already have their wall up. And at this point, you're just attacking them, at least in their eyes. They're not ready to see an outside opinion. They don't want an outside opinion.
Exactly. And once you've tried once, just leave it alone, dude.
Right.
Leave it alone. Let it go. And this is extremely prominent. If you're listening and you work in a regular workplace, in a work environment, I can see this being an issue everywhere. There's going to be people that can take the constructive criticism, and let's say you're a newer person in your work environment or something, and there's been people there that have been working for years. They are set in their ways.
Totally.
And if you're new there and you have a new, fresh perspective and you want to see something different, and you're kind of requesting like, hey, maybe we can try it this way or something, right?
Yeah.
It's very possible that in these work
very possible.
Yeah, very, very, very possible that people who have been there for years
are gonna be pissed.
You might be met with a little bit of negativity there. But hey, the most you can do in that situation is you try your best, honey. You try your best. You give your constructive criticism, and you be confident about it.
Yeah.
If they don't want to listen to you, like we were saying, fine, sure. You try to do things your own way in your own work ethic, and then maybe they'll catch on. Maybe CEO or whoever is in charge will catch on and be like, "Hey, this is a good idea. Maybe we should all do this." You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just something that maybe could be beneficial. Once you try it once, they don't want to listen because they're set in their ways. Fine, leave it alone. But you kind of be the example. Set the example. If you have an idea, you kind of just live out your own idea, or do what you want to do, work how you want to work, and then maybe it'll just kind of naturally, people will gravitate towards that and be like, oh wait, she was right,
Yeah.
Because some people, and I'm just pointing out to people who are maybe new to like a work environment, with people again who have been there forever, just kind of keep your patience with those types of people.
Totally. If you work in an environment with creatives, that is really hard. People who who do creative work, they take criticism hard. Like they don't take it. Like if you give them good feedback and you give them like what you think might work best or might flow better in the work area, whatever it is you may do, it's not going to be, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be met well. Just from personal experience. People take their work very seriously.
Honestly. And in that case, you just have to be patient in a work environment. You should just kind of sit back and maybe revisit that later. Like revisit it at a different time, because then like Alex said, creatives are, they're creating something.
Yeah.
And once you're creating something, it's really hard. Even though it should be welcome, and they should be welcome to constructive criticism. Creative work is probably the most criticized out of everything.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not always going to be met well, and you have to be patient and just revisit that topic later And that goes for anybody. It doesn't have to be work. Just revisit it if you think that it has simmered down. They're not going to totally blow up in your face.
However, I will add, if by creative, I don't mean like a paint, like I don't mean, how do I say this? Like you can't tell someone who's been painting a particular style, like you really can't give them criticism of any kind, because that's their work. That's what their style is. There's no fixing it. That's what it is. It's not going to change. And if you don't like my work, then it's not for you, and that's okay. So I feel the same way for like photographers or videographers, or people who sketch or who paint. Like that's really hard to fix, unless it's for like if I'm asking a digital artist, like someone who does digital work, if I'm asking that, like a graphic designer, if I'm asking them to change the way they do things for a specific project, then that's a little bit different than asking. I mean, it's work, so it's a little bit different. You're going to have to critique it. You're going to have to make changes.
Very true. Yeah. If your job is to literally do constructive criticism and they don't want to work with you, you take that up with like upper management. If you're really met with that much like defense, I guess it's like, dude, I'm just doing my job. Like,
I'm just trying to get things perfect.
It's really not personal. And like you said about the painting, like in the creative world, and people are still gonna criticize people who are
they will, artists. For sure.
There's always gonna be hate, people who criticize, and there's also gonna be people who are like, oh, if only he had maybe he could have done this differently. And it's like, okay, well, it's already done, I guess. But yeah, and definitely in the work environment, if it's your literal job to give constructive criticism, you have to have confidence in that too.
Yeah, and back it up. In that. Like, I think you should do it this way because X, Y, and Z, and it'll produce this kind of outcome.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, an artist or like a creative worker, they're gonna have their own specific work styles and processes. And I would probably say, like, not attacking, but like. They're going to be defensive if it's their own work style and process being constructive, being criticized. Because if it's the outcome, like, oh, well, you didn't like this design, or I didn't like this design and I didn't like it because of X, Y, Z, and they can fix it. If I'm criticizing their actual work style, work ethic, or processes, that's like sensitive territory. You have to be prepared to be met with that sort of reaction.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, we're all like, oh, speak from experience.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah. All right, guys. So to finish off this episode, we basically covered the topics we wanted to cover today. But since Alex is a new co-host, we're going to put her in the hot seat.
Oh, it's so hot.
Ew, it's so hot. It's steamy in here. Some water up in here. So we're going to give her some rapid fire questions, a couple of rapid fire questions. And you better give me some juicy answers.
All right.
And so here are the questions, ma'am. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I have actually 3 questions.
Okay.
Who would you want to play you in your movie, in a life movie, like about you?
Oh, easy. I'm going to go, oh my gosh, I just momentarily forgot her name. Last name is Thoreau. What's her first name? Oh, Catherine Thoreau.
Catherine Thoreau.
Charlize. Sorry, guys. Charlize Theron. Theron. I think it's spelled Theron. She's like a South African. She's like super cool. She's such a badass. Every time I see her in a movie, I'm like, I wish she was my twin.
I think I've seen her before, for sure.
She looks nothing like me, FYI. She's like this tall, like model woman. Like, she's super tall. She's gorgeous, blonde hair, light skin, blue eyes. I think I'm like complete opposite.
Alex, you are gorgeous. You are a strong, independent, gorgeous woman, girl. Okay,
true. All of those are true.
Freaking accept that right now. Okay, so another question is, who do you admire? It can be someone, you know, not in your immediate circle, or it can be like a motivational speaker or something. Someone you admire.
Someone I admire. You know what? This is gonna get so
Juicy.
not juicy. I admire my mom. Super sentimental. But my mom is like
cute.
such a G. Like she just has been through some shit and she just keeps pushing. Like she just is so resilient all the time.
Love
like
that.
She
seems very positive. When I met her, I mean, I was like, "Oh, you seem like a really like positive type of person."
She
like,
is.
Really
she is.
good vibes.
She always has my back, always gives me good advice, like loves to be a mom, loves to be a grandmother. She loves to be like she loves like all parts of her life. I feel like she loves to be a sister. She loves to be a daughter. Like she loves all the roles that were given to her. And she just like fully embraces it completely. She's
just like
my favorite person. Right? Yeah, she's super passionate.
Amazing. Passionate about life.
Mm-hmm. She's my favorite person for sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
How beautiful.
Thanks.
You're gonna make me cry. Okay. And the last question is, drum roll.
Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
What are 2 things you would put on your bucket list?
Oh, bucket list. Okay. So one of them, I would really like to visit Greece for whatever reason. I've always been drawn to that place. Ooh, I would say actually Greece or Egypt. Those 2 places have always caught my attention. I've always been like a huge history person, especially when it comes to like mythology. So Greece has always kind of piqued my interest. Same with Egypt. So that's the first one. Either of those places will do. Second bucket list item. You know what? I would really like to be able to get into Area 51.
Just both of us storm in.
Yeah.
Both of us storm.
The big storm that was supposed to happen. It's just me.
I am the storm, bitch.
I am the storm, bitch.
Oh my god, yes. That is amazing. I would gladly join you on that venture.
Thanks. I'm just like curious. Like I've been watching this documentary. I think it's called like it's on Netflix, something about aliens. It's a documentary about like
how to storm into Area 51.
Exactly.
101.
How to. It's like alien files or like hidden government documents. Ew. Yeah, so it's super cool and like all these crazy stories. And now that we know that it's like official, like the government has said they're for sure out there, which has always been kind of common sense to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, what? True. Now I want to see things.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't want to be abducted per se, but I want to see.
I would like to meet one.
Ooh.
I feel like they're nice. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if they were hostile, we would know for sure.
Like we'd be dead already.
Right. Right.
Also, they're just hanging out in our sky. Like, what are they doing?
So one story that actually was really weird.
Snacking up there.
Snacking.
Just watching us like a full ass movie. Longest like fucking movie series ever. Look at these idiots.
So one of the stories I saw on Netflix on the show, it was like this guy was driving down this road. There was nobody in front of him. He's wide awake. And all of a sudden, like right in the middle of the street, like these huge lights, like they blind him. He has to come to a complete stop. Out of nowhere is this huge ship. He gives like specific dimensions. He can see the number. There's like numbers on the side of the ship. And he gets out of his car to investigate and he sees a humanoid. So a humanoid is like an alien that looks like a human. And they're standing outside the ship with a flashlight, like checking something. And when that person or that alien realizes that they're being watched, he gets back into the ship and they like take off without, and it goes like super fast and it goes without like a sonic boom, which you know, we don't have technology like that. And truck drivers on that same road saw this happen too. So they also had filed a report as well. Isn't that crazy? So there's aliens that look like us. I mean, of course, dude, there has to be, right? Because I would feel like,
honestly, yeah. There's got to be different types, different species, different I mean, there's different types of UFOs that have been like spotted.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, are they like different species inside these different UFOs, or like what's happening? Some of them look very different.
They really do.
No doubt, there's like a million of them freaking in our sky right now, invisible.
Invisible or visible. Who knows?
Or visible. It's honestly terrifying, but also cool.
If you had a choice, like an alien was like super nice and he was like, would you like to be abducted into the ship? I'll take you.
Asked me.
Yeah, nicely asked you just to ask you a few questions. I'll bring you right back. I'll take your boyfriend with me as well. You know, you both can come so you're not scared. Would you go or would you be like, fuck no?
Dude, I don't know if I'd be able to trust them. But
I know it's so hard. You're so curious. I'm so curious.
You know what? Maybe I would. Maybe I would do it. It's like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And if I die on their ship, whatever. I mean,
whatever.
That'd be a very interesting.
It's not whatever.
But I'd have no choice if I'm stuck on their ship.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I just have to accept my death if they're planning on freaking killing me.
Oh my gosh! I hope they're not.
I know. Well, like I said, and aliens have been, or UFOs have been spotted like since way back in the day. Like they're on paintings.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
And it's like, they would have attacked us so long. Like, what's their goal? Like, are they really just observing us? Like, what's happening?
I know. What if we're them? Like, what if aliens are actually
my theory.
Just... this was your theory too?
Okay.
What are the odds? I thought that... Okay, let's go. Go for it.
Yes.
This episode has taken a turn.
It really has. But this was always my theory. Scientists, check me. Okay, check me out. Discovery Channel, hit me up. The freaking theory that I had since I was a little kid. Okay, this was always what I thought. That the aliens were us from the future visiting our past, which is our present.
Yes, making sure that we come along theory. Or that things are prevented to make sure we like survive as a human race. Yeah. That's exactly what I thought too.
So it's like us from the future and literally looking at us from the past, which again is our present.
Oh, right.
And it's like, that seems very possible. Like, because in the future, we'd have higher technology. We'd be able to time travel.
Mm-hmm. At least the humanoid versions. I don't know about the versions that, like, don't look like us. Like, maybe we evolved to be, like, green.
Green
and,
slime.
like, hairless. Just big old black eyes.
Huge ass heads and huge brains.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, they used to have huge heads back in the day. Not
they did,
but like let's say the Egyptians or whatever. Like, you look at their skulls.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, dude, no wonder they were so smart. Huge ass heads.
That is crazy.
Huge brains in those heads to build those pyramids or whatever. Whatever you believe. I don't know if the aliens helped out. I don't know. For sure, they had to have.
There's like pyramids all over the world, like literally all over the world, not just Egypt. They're everywhere.
Sure. And I bet they provided. How would they know?
How would they know?
How would they know? How would they know? Like, oh, I'm inspired now. I'm going to build a pyramid too in my city.
There was no way they went to Egypt and was like, oh, I can't wait to bring this back to my hometown. Really blow shit up.
What is the fucking coincidence here? I do not understand.
There is no coincidences. That's my
There is no coincidences. You need to go to Peru. You need to go to Machu Picchu. I need to take you to Machu Picchu.
Please
you can fucking go and you feel the aliens. You feel the spirits of the aliens.
I want to feel the spirits.
Yeah, we feel the spirits. They told us in Peru, like they showed us, what was it called? I was going to say Sacagawea. It's not Sacagawea. It was some other wall. Sacagawea is not a wall. It was some wall. Sexy something. I don't know. Saka something. Anyway.
Saka something.
I'm totally disrespecting it right now.
Sorry, guys.
Disrespecting it. I'm so sorry.
If you know what it is, let us know. We'd love to know. So
it's a wall, and they were basically showing us how there's just no way that these precise lines could have been cut.
No way.
Like by humans. It's just insane. Or like there's theories obviously that it wasn't us because we can't even replicate that with our current technology.
So crazy.
Those lines are so precise, they fit so perfectly. How the hell did they do that?
Yeah. And you know what I think? You know how there's
do that now.
To further deepen this, you know how there's like, so a lot of these places, like the natives that were around in that time, how they've just like all like colonies like of these people have just completely disappeared. Like they're just gone. You know what I mean? Like there's no trace of them. Like
they went to their planet. They went to their home planet.
What if they were invited back to their planet and they fucking left?
Yeah, they were like, let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. And that's why there's like no trace of them or at all.
For sure. Yeah, they just up and left. They just up and left. And it's like, just one last point to finish this conversation off. There's, that, have you seen that? I don't know if it's called hieroglyphics or something. It's a carving inside of like a cave wall or something of literally someone that looks like they're operating a rocket ship.
Oh my gosh, I have seen that. And it looks like there's like technology to power it and everything.
Yes. And he looks like he's like legit wearing like a freaking suit, like to go into space.
Yes. So weird.
Like,
who's not telling us the truth, man?
I am speechless. Why? Like, there's just like clearly they had technology. They had knowledge of this stuff. Clearly, and why would they so intricately plan it out, write it out? Like, it's just really interesting.
Yeah,
and
this conversation could honestly go on for like another 2 hours.
Honestly, a full podcast dedicated to this.
Full podcast of alien talk.
Yes. Well. Leaving on that note.
This wraps it up.
This wraps up the hot seat rapid fire questions after another freaking hour. Thank you guys so much for listening.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Alex, thank you so much for joining me on this journey.
Of course. I cannot wait to dive in.
Dive deeper.
Dive deeper. More topics. More to come.
Yes.
More to share. Yes. More alien talk, possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, most definitely.
At the end of each episode, we should give our theories each time. We should talk about a conspiracy at the end of each episode.
I'm kind of digging that idea, honestly.
Honestly. Yes, let's do it. Okay, so, again, thank you guys for listening, and join us in our next episode. Follow
See you next time.
If you all feel like supporting this podcast, I believe there's an option, if you're on Anchor, to, if you feel like you want to tip, donate, whatever you want to do.
So nice.
There's always an option to give us your coin, honey. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, there's always an option if you want to support. You can go ahead and do that. And Alex, any last words? Any last final words?
If you have a question you want answered on our next podcast, feel free to leave us a comment with your question, and we'd be happy to answer it. This next episode or the following, whichever.
Well, whatever you want. On Anchor, I believe you can send us a voice message and we can listen to that.
Oh, that's dope.
And also, if you follow me on my social media platforms, Briannicus G on all platforms, Twitter, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram. I'm also on YouTube if you want to check out my YouTube channel. Go ahead and DM me your questions and we can discuss them here on the podcast. So thank you again for listening and join us again in our next episode.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.